Hello, this is Mrs. Armstrong. I am one of the counselors here at the high school. I am the career counselor, and my office is in the Career Center. And today I want to review some helpful information for juniors. Hopefully you've all opened the document called Make a Plan Guide for Juniors. So I've created this little PowerPoint, and you can kind of just follow along in your book. So the counselors for the juniors, for the 11th graders, depends on what academy you're in. So for arts and communications, it's Mr. Fisher. For health, it's Miss Hamlin. Public service is Mrs. Ming. Trade is Mr. Alvarez, and I am Mrs. Armstrong. So the first part is a checklist of things that you should be doing throughout this year to make sure that next year, senior year, goes really well and you're prepared for that, and it just makes senior year so much smoother if you take care of what you need to do as a junior. So when you're watching this, it should be October 1st or 2nd. And October is college application month, so you should be seeing a lot of things for seniors posted around the school. We have a lot of activities for seniors for them to complete their college application process. One of the things that is available to seniors and juniors is a virtual college fair. Usually we have one here at the school in person, where about 50 different colleges come here, and the juniors and seniors get to walk around the track and visit with them. So we can't do that this year, and so we are offering virtual college fairs. There's national ones and state of Kansas ones, and I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit later in the guide. So the second thing you need to be doing is reviewing your school coursework and your activities that you do. Colleges look for challenging coursework, strong GPA, involvement in activities, service activities, leadership. So if you are not strong in your extracurricular or service or leadership areas, you'll want to look for areas or opportunities that you can do those things here at the school and in Garden City. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We do post a lot of information on there. Especially if we have to go to remote learning. That's a really good communication tool. So in November, National Honor Society applications will open, and you have to have a 3.6 GPA or higher. And so look for information for applying to National Honor Society in November. Garden City Community College always hosts an event called Exploration Day in November. This year that will also be virtual, and so we will probably have a sign-up process here in the Career Center. So look for information about that later on. In December, students who would like to take the PSAT, we do have a limit of 50 students for that. It's like a pre-SAT, just like some of you are taking the pre-ACT in October. You can take a test called the PSAT. It is quite difficult, and it is trying to find the brightest students of all the juniors in the United States, and those students could qualify for a National Merit Scholarship. Also, make sure that you meet with your counselor if you plan to play sports in college. You want to make sure that you have the correct courses, and you might need to change your schedule for second semester of junior year. So make sure you do that before second semester. So in January, we will be giving the PSAT if you register for that in December. In February, those of you who registered for the free ACT will be doing that, and I will be hosting free ACT prep sessions in the Career Center. So those are very helpful. It helps you to improve your score from your pre-ACT to your ACT and just know more about what to expect. Make sure that when you enroll for senior year, you're taking challenging courses, that you're not just taking an easy year. That does not benefit you as you go to college as far as being successful or getting those required credits that you need. You may also want to take a test at the college, Garden City Community College, called the Accuplacer. If you want to take English or math as a college class your senior year, you have to have a score either from the Accuplacer or the ACT to qualify you for those classes. So then if you would like to take the ACT again, you may do so in April or June. The more you take it, the higher your score will be, because the tests rotate different questions, and you may find a better fit to your knowledge on different test dates. We will be offering a ACT Power Prep class probably before the April test date, and that is a class you do have to pay for. And so finishing up your junior year is very important, that you don't lose your motivation and your focus. And then those of you that are in AP classes, you'll need to take your AP tests in May. So some things that you could be doing throughout the school year. We are having college representatives come here to the Career Center, and since you won't have the chance to visit with them in person at the college fair, you definitely need to sign up for their scheduled visits here in the Career Center. We use QR codes, and they are posted throughout the school that you can just sign up that way, and we will send you a pass, and they come during all the lunch shifts or mentoring times, and you just come and meet with them here in the Career Center. Doing your Zello lessons is also very important. You will be able to find out good college majors and careers that match up with you and your skills and your interests. You can also find different colleges on Zello that you would like to research more. You should create a long list of at least 10 colleges that include reach schools, so things that you might think are out of your reach or not possible, but still include them on your list if you're interested in those. Match schools, which are good strong matches to the things that you're interested in, and different other qualities of the schools that might match up with you, as well as safety schools. A safety school would be something that you could maybe fall back on if those other reach or match schools don't work out for you. Make sure that you're talking to your parents about your desire to go to college and your goals for your future. They don't know what to expect. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how to support you in these goals if you don't talk about them. Also, colleges have junior days, specifically designed for juniors and their parents. Usually, you sign up on their websites to attend those junior days. To know how much it's going to cost to go to a specific college, you can use a net price calculator to choose to find out what their affordability is. And then before summer, choose 3 to 5 schools that interest you the most and schedule the college visits. So summertime should not be a time where you're just, doing nothing. You can either visit colleges, create your resume, make sure that you have a list or to-do list or a calendar of different deadlines, and possibly get a job and start saving money for college. So if you want to go to a university here in Kansas, here are the admissions requirements to go to the universities in Kansas. So Emporia State, Fort Hays State, Pittsburgh State, and Wichita State all have the same requirements: an ACT score of 21 or higher and at least a 2.25 GPA. K-State, also an ACT of 21, but you have to have a GPA of 3.25. KU, or the University of Kansas, also requires at least a 21 and a 3.25, or a score of 24 and a 3.0 GPA. All of these schools recommend that you take the pre-college curriculum. The pre-college curriculum is 4 credits of English, 3 or 4 credits of math, 3 credits of science, one of those at least being chemistry or physics, 3 credits of social studies, and electives in foreign language, career and technical education classes, computer technology, and art are all highly encouraged. If you do not take a strong schedule, you probably will not be prepared to be successful in college, and that will cost you money, and it could actually lead to you being dismissed from college. So it's really important that you're using your time here in high school to get prepared for college. You can use the academic tracker to look up specific colleges and see what courses they require for you to get admitted. Big Future, it's what it's called. It's on College Board. You can create an account, or if you already have a College Board account, just get on there and you can say find colleges and then see what their admissions requirements are. Because out-of-state schools are going to be different. They are not going to have the same admissions requirements as all of the Kansas schools. Kansas schools are actually pretty easy to get accepted to. So if you're thinking that you want to go out of state, make sure that you know what is needed and you're prepared for that. So all of us counselors want you to be prepared so you can be successful in college. And so, like I said, you need to have a strong schedule, a high GPA, and career and technical education classes. So besides graduation requirements and pre-college curriculum, some of you might want to complete the Scholars Curriculum. The Scholars Curriculum is a little bit more, which would be 4 years of English, 4 years of math, so you must take math your senior year, 3 years of science, and it must include chemistry and physics, 3 years of social studies, and 2 credits or years of foreign language, and it's the same foreign language. So taking the Scholars Curriculum does not necessarily mean you will get a scholarship, but it could be a scholarship. If you have a high ACT and a high GPA, and you take the Scholars Curriculum and you have financial need, you could qualify for a scholarship. So it is not a guarantee of scholarship. So if you want to play sports in college, there is a whole section in your book. I am not going to go over all of that because it does not pertain to that many people. But the most important thing that you need to know about playing sports in college is you have to register on the Eligibility Center for the NCAA. It does cost money to do that, but that way coaches can look at you. Most Division I and II coaches will not even look at you or schedule a visit for you to go to their college if you have not registered on the Eligibility Center. And then you get your ACT score sent directly to the Eligibility Center and your high school transcript. And that's how they determine if you're eligible to play sports at a Division I or II school. NAIA, which is a private college, they also have an Eligibility Center. Community colleges do not. You just have to graduate from high school and get recruited. So there's a lot of resources there on the bottom of that information as well. So how do you learn about colleges, or how do you connect with them? Well, I already talked about the representatives that come to the Career Center. So this is how you can sign up for different reps, and you can use that anytime. We talked about junior days. You can also phone or email reps, admissions offices. Make sure that you use professional language. Getting an email outside of school is very important, and make sure that it is a professional contact name as well, not something inappropriate or silly. It just is not a good representation of yourself. All right, so the fourth way would be the virtual college fairs. So the first one is the national one. So those will be colleges, hundreds of colleges from all over the United States. And they have different options, September 13th, which is past already, so October 12th, 18th, or November 8th. And you sign up online at their virtualcollegefairs.org. And those would be things that you watch on your own time. Okay, the second one would be Kansas college fairs. And there's a registration link there as well. If you would like to watch during school time on October 5th or 14th, you may sign up. You need to sign up in the Career Center for a live viewing session. So on the 5th, it's grouped by type of college. So we will choose like either the community college group or the university group. And it's actually going to be interactive, so you can ask questions as well. If you'd rather watch in the evening, maybe with your parent, Tuesday, October 6th, you can do that. And then on October 14th, it'll be grouped by location area of Kansas. So like Western Kansas or Central Kansas or Eastern Kansas. And if you want to watch in the evening, you can sign up for that on your own as well. Colleges are also having campus visits, and you can have 2 days that are excused as school activities if you go on campus visits and get a prearranged absence form ahead of time to do that. Of course, you can go on your own time just to visit friends, but that would not be the very best or beneficial way to do that. It gives you a good feel of the campus, but you also need to make an official visit appointment with the admissions office so that they can show you maybe your major area, get you to talk with a professor, an advisor of your major area, talk about financial aid, things like that. And so scheduling an official campus visit is an excellent way to find out about different colleges. In your book, I also have like a checklist if you do go on a college visit. And I also have 12 tips to make the most of a virtual college fair. So make sure that you look through that information on your own. So testing information, taking the ACT or the SAT is very important this year as a junior. It does cost $55 for the ACT. If you get free or reduced lunch, you can get a fee waiver, so you don't have to pay that fee. You need to get that from your counselor, but you need to take them a verification letter that you get free or reduced lunch. You can see the upcoming test dates, but most of you would be taking the free ACT here at the high school in February. So then you could wait to see what your scores are going to be and then decide if you want to take it again in April or June or July. You can also take it in the fall of your senior year, but that is not ideal because a lot of scholarships and admissions offices do need those scores at the beginning of senior year. I did talk a little bit about the Accuplacer at Garden City Community College. That test is free. And there is no time limit on that, unlike the ACT, which is very strict with their time. And you can just call to make an appointment to take the Accuplacer anytime that they have their test options. So here are some tips for preparing to take the test. You'll definitely want to look those over before you take the pre-ACT next week. It will help you do better and know what to expect. ACT has lots of free test prep on their website. You can get a question a day sent to your email. There's free practice tests on ACT. You will also get access to something called ACT Academy. If you get a fee waiver, it includes the ACT prep program that actually costs money. So a lot of good things on ACT. So check that out before you take the test. QuestBridge is a program, I should say, that connects low-income students to like Ivy League colleges or some of the top colleges in the United States. And then they also provide programs to help you to be successful at those schools. So if that's something you're interested in, check that out at questbridge.org. The College Board Opportunity Scholarship, this was new last year, and we actually had 2 seniors win $1,000 each just by doing simple things that they would normally do to prepare to graduate and go to college anyway. So I really encourage you to get on cb.org/opportunity. So the first thing is just building a list of colleges on Big Future, and you could win $500. It's a drawing. Once you complete these things, you go into a drawing. But they offer a lot of them. So like 20 kids each month could get $500. The second thing is practice for the SAT. So maybe you're not going to take the SAT, but you could practice on Khan Academy and you could win $1,000. So just look through those different things, steps, and if you complete all those steps, you could win $40,000. Here are 6 other great scholarship searches. They're search engines. This year, I partnered with Going Merry, and our school is part of Going Merry, and I really appreciate the different scholarships that they are sending to us, and our students have access to all of those. So, but those are for big national scholarships. But there are some for juniors on these search engines, so you'll just have to look at those options. All right, the last thing in the guide is a warning about scholarship scams. It should never cost you money to find a scholarship. So all of those search engines should be free. It should not cost you $50, or even sometimes there's companies that say, hey, pay us $1,200, so $1,200, and we will find your son or daughter, 5 scholarships, or find a way for them to go to college free. Those things are not reputable. They are not true. And most of the time you cannot get your money back, and that is $1,200 that you could spend in college rather than trying to find scholarships or financial aid that you can do on your own for free. We really try to help students do that, so please do not spend money on different scholarship searches. All right, so now teachers, you can pause me while the students get into their Google classrooms. So in the email that I sent to all juniors, not only is there a link to the junior book, but there's a link to a Google Classroom for each of the counselors. So depending on what academy the student is in, they need to join that academy or their counselor's Google Classroom. In their Google Classroom for 11th graders is an assignment called Junior Future Plans. They need to open that and complete that and then submit it back into the Google Classroom for their counselor to have. So you can pause me until all the students have that up and are ready to complete that. And I will just briefly go over a couple of those points. Okay, so fill in the top, the name, your ID. What are your plans right now? This is not, you can definitely change this, okay? You're going to change this possibly, but just right now, like if you could have your way, if your dreams came true, what would you be doing after high school? Would you go to a 4-year school, a 2-year school? Teachers, you might want to talk about what kind of degrees you can get at those different schools. If you know what interests you have or majors that you might want to study at those schools, you could list up to 3 or more, and that's okay to have more than one. You don't have to decide that right now. The next section, if you know what schools are interesting to you, what colleges that you are going to investigate or look at the virtual college fairs, you can fill that in. Okay, collegiate athletics. So are you going to play sports in college? Yes, I have registered on the NCAA Eligibility Center. Yes, I have not registered. Yes, but I am going to NAIA. Yes, I am going to go to NJCAA, which is the National Junior College Athletic Association, or no, I don't plan to play sports. So your graduation plan options. So are you just simply completing the high school requirements? Those are listed briefly there. Are you also going to try to get the pre-college curriculum so that you're prepared for college? I did talk about that earlier. Or do you want to get the scholars curriculum, which I went over that also. So when do you want to graduate is the next section. If you're thinking that you're going to graduate at the end of this year, your junior year, you need to speak with your counselor ASAP. They should know that already, but maybe they don't, and you need to let them know. December, senior graduate, that might affect what classes you take next semester, so make sure you're on track for that, or a regular May senior graduate. So the last paragraph on here is important. That you understand that. So I did briefly talk about your responsibility to find out the college's requirements if you want to go to a college out of state. Even a specific scholarship for out-of-state colleges. We don't know those things. We don't know who is interested in those places. So you have to find that out and communicate that with the counselor so that you are aware of that, they are aware of that, and you could meet those qualifications. So you should research it and understand it, and then meet those expectations. The counselors are not responsible for the admission, acceptance, or non-acceptance of students to their college of choice, and that could include a scholarship eligibility as well. The counselors are here to assist and provide guidance as requested, but it's ultimately up to the student to determine and proceed with his or her post-high school plans. So make sure that you sign it and date it, and then, like I said, submit it back in Google Classroom. So if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to ask me, Mrs. Armstrong, or your Academy counselor. And thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you find it helpful for you to proceed on to have a successful junior and senior year. Have a great day.